2,000 PSF in Ang Moh Kio. Who thought we lived to see the day? But here we have it, AMO Residences. Is it worth the hype? Welcome back to the next episode of everyone's favorite condo new launch review series, where we peel away the hype of a particular launch to share with you our honest feedback. And for today's episode, we have a condo that's been 8 years in the making and very creatively named AMO Residences in Ang Moh Kio. Ready? Let's go! Let's start off first with a bit of project information, followed by the location, site plan, and ending off with some of my thoughts on the floor plans. First up, the development details. Developed by UOL, one of the most renowned, experienced developers in Singapore, known for really the quality of their development. So not a big concern on the developers. The particular piece of land was actually awarded to UOL close to a year ago from June 2021. Now, they really took their time to launch this, to slowly develop it. And I think they were trying to catch a timing where the launches were really low in supply. And on that note, it may not be the best thing for consumers. If you want to understand why, watch on. I'm going to share a little bit on that later on in the video. The particular plot entertained or garnered 15 other developer bids. Now, 15 is on the high side for GLS bidders, and I think the result of this GLS sort of triggered and started the whole thought process on the government thinking and then instituting the December 2021 cooling measures, because they wanted to prevent a repeat of 2017-2018, where the developers started to come in and bid up GLS sites very aggressively. We saw them coming up to 23 bidders for a particular piece of land in the 2017-2018 en bloc rush. And the cooling measures have really sort of worked their purpose, because we see the number of bidders for the more recent GLS numbers dropping significantly. But now that aside, with a break-even price of 1833 PSF, this is going to be one of the most expensive piece of land ever in the OCR. Now, is that worth the wow or not? Again, we're going to share that later on in the video. Now, back to AMO Residences, we're going to have 372 units, not too big, not too small, right? Just the right size. I would prefer, of course, for them to be a little bit bigger, but you know, that's not a deal breaker personally for me. We're going to have a 1-for-1 car park allocation, which is pretty good considering we are actually within walking distance to the future Mayflower MRT. Now, next up, important thing to note would be the expected date of Notice of Vacant Possession, NOVP for short. So this is where you expect to collect your keys if you were a buyer. 31st December 2026 is 4.5 years away. For a new launch, this is quite a wait. And especially if you're an upgrader where you have to sell your house, go out into rental, while waiting to collect your keys for AMO, you need to do your sums properly, because we are in a period of record-breaking rental prices. Now, having to pay record high rental prices together with mortgage with high interest rates, please do your sums carefully and make sure you plan carefully. Now, next up, onto the location. Next up, location. And we are not going to be able to talk about AMO Residences location without talking about its proximity to perhaps two of the most prestigious primary schools in Singapore, Aitong and CHIJ St. Nicholas. But not to say Ang Moh Kio Primary is not good, but I'm pretty sure the reason why you are watching this video and the reason why people are keen about AMO Residences is its proximity to the first two schools. Okay? Next up, talking about Ang Moh Kio as an area for condos. Ang Moh Kio being a mature estate you're not going to be expecting a lot of condo launches, right? Which is why I said earlier on in the video, this launch was 8 years in the making. The previous launch was the Panorama over in 2014 by Wheelock Properties. Right, the Panorama, later on we're going to talk about its performance. It did pretty well. That said, Central Residences perhaps didn't do quite as well. Now, the key question we want to answer is AMO Residences going to lean more towards the Panorama or more towards Central Residences? Stay tuned. In terms of connectivity, right, it's highlighted that it's a slow walk along or slow walk to Ang Moh Kio Bishan Park. They are sharing with you a lot of things on the 20 km long cycling path network. I don't know how many of you cycle so long, but yes, it's 20 km long cycling path network. Right. The key connectivity selling point over here is short walk to the new Mayflower MRT, so that's already open, right? Great for everyone. It's going to be served well by the new North-South corridor. That said, while we see like Ang Moh Kio Hub being placed over here, Junction 8 over here, and Thomson Plaza over here, they are all not exactly within walking distance to AMO Residences, right? But that said, the hype really is because of its proximity to the reputable schools. Next. Next up, let's take a look at the site plan and some of the facilities. So over here, the development split into two blocks, Block 21 and 23. It's going to be UOL, so you can't go too wrong with regards to the execution and the finishing of the development. The renderings all look pretty impressive. I especially like the fact that they have even detailed out the roof of the grill pavilions. The rest of the renderings, I was pretty impressed. I mean, nothing much to shout about, because at the end of the day it's 300 plus units, but I think it's sufficient, and with UOL you expect it to be well executed even if it's 300 plus, 300 odd units. Now diving deeper into the site plan, the north facing units, you will be facing and overlooking the freehold landed area, and with that, I believe the developer is going to price a premium for that, because the south-facing units, while today you get a pretty good view of the Ang Moh Kio Bishan Park, bear in mind that that particular plot below AMO Residences, over here, that is going to be a 4.2 plot ratio residential development moving forward, so I'm pretty sure that view is gonna be blocked eventually. Yeah, and next up in terms of pricing, with the drastic difference between a permanent view and a potentially blocked view, I'm pretty sure the developer is going to load quite a fair bit of price premium for the north-facing units. For the more seasoned folks, you will also notice that the north-facing units, I think the developers have tried their best to tilt as north as they can, but you notice that the facing of the premium units, those overlooking the landed properties, they have a little bit of west sun, just a slight bit, so bear in mind if you're choosing that particular stack. In terms of facilities, again, right, what needs to be there is there, nothing overly fancy. We have a tennis court, even though it's a 300 unit development, so that's good. We have a 50-meter lap pool, again, very good. Not the 48, 47 or 45-meter lap pool that we saw at Live at MB the other time, right? Pretty straightforward. What you see, what you read is what you get. Now, in terms of the unit mix and my thoughts on some of the floor plans. So we have 49% of the development being 2-bedders and 2-bedroom premiums. Later on, you will notice or you will realize that this is actually quite good, because in the area around, in the developments around AMO, 3 bedrooms actually make up the bulk of the supply in that area. So a 2-bedroom will work out pretty well if you are looking at just the supply side factors. We have 32% being 3 bedrooms, their size pretty standard, right, from 958 square feet to 1367 square feet. So it's very easy to sort of guess how much those units will cost you. You just times 2,000. I guess that's like where you have a very easy gauge. Maybe I can help you with that by putting a table down over here. Okay, 372 units, like I said, not too small, but also not overly big, I guess, with the whole natural vibe beside freehold landed views with its proximity to Ang Moh Kio Park. I guess the people that like that area probably will appreciate it being not overly big in size. Now let's take a look at some of the floor plans. Right over here, the 2-bedroom floor plan I quite like. Right, first of all, the dumbbell layouts. With dumbbell layouts, you get very little wasted space in terms of corridor space. We have an enclosed kitchen, which again, right, people like. The only downside over here is because there's only 2 blocks, right? The 2-bedroom over here, the toilet and the kitchen will not be naturally ventilated. You probably will only expect natural ventilation for the units all the way at the corner. So each block, 4 units with natural ventilation for kitchen/toilets, and they are likely to be the larger units. Okay, now I mean, just coming back to the whole point where we would not be seeing 1-bedroom units in AMO Residences. So good news for the folks of 1-bedroom in Panorama. Right, you're not going to face a lot of competition, and congratulations to you on that. All right, next up, 2-bedroom premium, right, 743 square feet. Again, once you step in, straight in, enclosed kitchen. That said, you see the kitchen size is actually smaller than the 2-bedroom, the 2-bed 1-bath kitchen. Yeah, if you just very easily look at it like that. But the benefit here is that you have glass over here, and that would help you give a perception that the space is bigger, because as you step into the unit, you can look through this window, this glass window over here, and that will help give the perception that the house is bigger lah. So, right, dumbbell layout, very little wasted space in terms of corridor. We have a nook over here. They call it a niche. Yeah, right, for flexible usage. So I think you can either do if you want to eventually convert this into a dual key, it's actually possible. I would erect a wall over here, and then the door over here, you can come in and use this unit. Then you can turn right, use this unit. You have a kitchenette, washer, dryer over here. Right, so right, this dual key possibility, right, thanks to the niche we have over there. So layout-wise, very squarish, pretty good, right? Just that the kitchen is smaller than the 2-bed 1-bath kitchen. No ventilation again, natural ventilation again for both bathrooms. 3-bedroom, 1141 square feet, so good size, right? Because we are now today limited to the minimum average unit size rule. Step in, we have a corridor over here, pretty standard in terms of how the kitchen is done. But with the new rules, now 3 bedrooms and above, we all have to have the household shelter in it. So with the household shelter done, now the opening is towards the corridor. So you're going to expect quite a good length corridor, okay, and the kitchen yard area. So this is going to be naturally ventilated, as you can see over here. Both toilets will be naturally ventilated lah. We have a more portrait style, which is a front and back living dining area. So for a 1141 square feet, right, apple to apple comparison, personally I would prefer the landscape design living and dining area, especially for 3 bedrooms of this size. But you can't have everything. This is already quite a nicely set up space lah. Of course, without the bomb shelter, you could have the utility or yard area facing the kitchen. But you know, I think that's fine. We are all used to the household shelter, especially if you are HDB upgraded or your household shelter open to the corridor. Anyway, study room over here. Okay, another thing to note, because it's a GLS site today, all GLS new launches, they have to utilize the PPVC construction method. So the walls you see over here, they are structural walls, so you cannot hack them. So on that note, this study room being placed over here, a little bit awkward unless you move the door for the master bedroom forward in line with this. You can come in and then utilize the study as sort of a walk-in wardrobe, and then you have a much bigger master bedroom. Okay, next up, 4-bedroom, right? 1292 square feet, 4-bedroom private lift. Right, so let's take a look. Private lift come in, you're gonna step out. So as you step out into it, I think the whole vibe should be quite okay, because you can look left, look right, versus some of the private lift units, right? As you step out, you can't really have a good glimpse of the whole size of it, of the unit lah, which tends to somehow or rather make the unit look smaller. But for this particular case, I think it's quite okay, because you step out this way and visually you will look out this way, so you have a nice visual expanse of the space. Kitchen is a little bit small, I feel, for a 4-bedroom, but yet again, a lot of the other launches, you will notice, especially units with private lift, their kitchen is very odd, because the developers try to build the kitchen around the private lift lobby. So I think this is, while it's not the biggest kitchen you're going to find for a 4-bedroom, at least it's, it's regularly shaped, and it's not built around the lift core. So as with units with private lift, you're going to get two entrances in case the private lift breaks down, and so this is where your next entrance is going to be at. Household shelter being placed here it's okay, yeah, because the WC is here lah. So helpers stay here. If you need to use the WC. Well, I think that's okay. Nice long wall over here. You can put huge sofa. You can tuck your dining table in like that and have really good space. Right, no complaints over the bedroom sizes over at AMO Residences, be it 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, they all look like they can fit in minimally a queen size bed, so that's a good job on that. Okay, 3 bedrooms, once you move over here, 3 bedroom 4, right, same size. Master bedroom, so the master bedroom over here, the toilet is in front of the master bed. Not sure if you are a huge fan of it, but pros and cons, right? The pros really would be you get a good nice window over here because it's front facing, but the bad thing is, I don't know, some people they don't like to be like with the bed facing the master bedroom. Right, bedroom 2 will actually be the junior master, and I think it is a really good size over here. Only concern is with the door being placed like that. You're gonna struggle to put bedside tables lah. Of course, you can then tilt the bed the other way, and at least you have more space for your bedside table. A little bit awkward, but I think at least in terms of square footage, the bedroom is a good size. Yeah. 5-bedroom, 1475 square feet, private lift. So dry and wet kitchen. Also, the 4-bedroom doesn't have a dry and wet kitchen. It's solely a wet kitchen. So again, right, private lift, step out. Not the biggest living dining area you're gonna see for 5-bedroom especially, and you know, with AMO Residences potentially having to compete with Jadescape, I feel Jadescape probably have, in my personal opinion, a nicer 5-bedroom layout, right? But let's take a look, you know, come in. So we have a dry kitchen over here, tucked away at the corner. Okay, right, you give more space to the living dining area. Step in. Another thing that, yeah, right, same thing. I like the regularly shaped wet kitchen, again not being built around the lift core. So I think the size of the wet kitchen is pretty good. A good amount of countertop space lah. WC, household shelter near to one another. Okay, that's good. Bedroom sizes, right, all very standard. Perhaps the only complaint over here is maybe the lack of ensuite toilets for these 3 bedrooms. So you're gonna have these 3 bedrooms sharing one toilet over here. The junior master having this narrow corridor, a bit not the most ideal, but yeah, I feel it's quite okay. But as with corridors, a lot of people, they don't like it, but you're not gonna run. It's quite tough to run away from a long corridor if you have 5 bedrooms lah. You probably can shorten it had they throw one of the bedrooms over here. Again, that's really a 50-50 kind of thing. I have a lot of people that don't like one of the bedrooms being thrown here, but if the bedroom is then thrown here, the likely layout would be more regular in shape and you don't have to deal with long walkways like that. Master bedroom, quite okay, not spectacular. A lot of the times for 5 bedrooms, the master bedroom wardrobe would at least be a walk-in wardrobe. You know, but you know what, I'm like just picking faults here and there. I feel generally the layouts, as with most UOL properties, very regularly shaped. You're not going to get odd shaped layouts with UOL properties. They're going to be nicely finished. Yeah, and that's that. Now, on to the 3 things I like and perhaps don't quite like about AMO Residences. And for the first thing I like, and perhaps the most obvious point of them all, is proximity to 2 of the most popular primary schools in Singapore, St. Nicholas and Ai Tong. Chances are being anchored by these 2 primary schools will protect you against buying at such high benchmark prices, given that you have a sufficient holding period. We couple this with the fact that the alumni of those schools will likely have the ability and the willpower to purchase your unit from you at a premium in the future. It's not that I'm being elitist or anything, but we all know that that's a fact. And the abundance of landed properties in the vicinity will also help to add on to potential exit options. What do I mean by that? All that accumulated wealth around the vicinity, likelihood will have some parents helping their kids, right, financially, because they want their kids to buy a place. And we have plenty of case studies to support this fact. We just need to look at Thomson Impressions, Thomson Grand, and the Panorama, all of which were launched at benchmark prices in their time. But they have all yielded pretty decent profits within a short period of time. And did you know only Thomson Grand share the similar characteristics as AMO Residences, being within 1 km of the 2 popular primary schools? For Thomson Impressions and the Panorama, they are only within 1 km of St. Nick's and not Ai Tong. On to the second thing we like about AMO Residences, its first mover advantage into a rapidly changing mature town. What do I mean by that? It's not often you get a new MRT station opening up in a mature town, but we're going to get that with the opening up of the Thomson East Coast Line and Mayflower MRT within 500 meters of AMO Residences. Next up, we take a look at the Lentor area. Right? Very, very exciting for AMO Residences because if you check out the URA master plan, there's plenty of land around Lentor MRT yet to be sold. We already have 2, and those 2 land plots sold are already higher priced than AMO Residences. But with more land over there to be sold in the future, it's going to make AMO Residences look like a good value proposition because those plots are not within vicinity of the 2 popular primary schools. Next up, again, we can take a look at another piece of land that's right below AMO Residences, and that particular piece has a plot ratio of 4.2, and I think that's probably going to be one of the tallest buildings in that area. Now, a very high building is good for AMO Residences. Why? We take a look at some of the case studies over at Sterling Residences and Avenue South Residences, 2 high-rise residential buildings. With high-rise residential buildings and condominiums, you can get a very big disparity in terms of the per square feet. A lower floor unit versus a high floor unit, the high floor unit can easily command 300 to 400 per square feet more. So if the land is already going to be sold at a higher price than AMO Residences, and you add that 400 PSF for the top few floors at the plot right below us, that's going to set benchmark prices for the whole area, again then driving that value proposition for AMO Residences. Lastly, Ang Moh Kio as a town, we are seeing a lot of SIRS happening in Ang Moh Kio. We see that a lot in the news, in a good way and also a not so good way. But news aside, right, that's going to bring in a lot of new BTO supply to the area, and we know all these BTOs are easily going to fetch $1 million in the resale market. That's going to put a lot of profits into the people that were fortunate enough to buy those BTOs fresh from the government, giving them firepower to purchase your unit from you at a premium further down the road. Lastly, the third thing I like about AMO Residences, the long-term OCR undersupply. Coupled with the fact that we see a new launch in Ang Moh Kio once in a blue moon, what does that all mean for AMO Residences? The OCR is going into a period of extended undersupply as the government slows down on their GLS sales, penalize developers from going for en bloc, while focusing manpower to shorten BTO wait times. But that undersupply will eventually pick up, right? And I'm very sure we're going to see the new plots over at the Lentor area, which I mentioned in my earlier point, being launched not too far in the future. Those launches will drive demand over to AMO Residences, just like how AMO's launch have driven demand over to Panorama and the 2 Thomson condos, pushing their PSFs to a point that's very, very close to AMO Residences launch price. This long-term undersupply will give you the chance to exit at different timings and perhaps even at TOP, should TOP supply remain low. We just need to take a look at Jadescape, the most recent example of a TOP within the vicinity. Jadescape is yielding profits like that, and they are TOPing at a time with comparatively higher TOP supply as compared to AMO. Now, I'm going to let you and leave you to imagine the kind of profits AMO Residences may potentially yield should my guess that OCR undersupply will remain for the foreseeable future. If you found this video useful, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification button as it will help out the channel a ton, and of course inform you of our future videos. Now, have you seen a laughing lion before? If you have not, hit the like and subscribe button and I'm going to share that with you in 3, 2, 1, go. Moving on to the 3 things I perhaps don't quite like about AMO Residences. Point number 1, the lack of amenities. Now, if you really take a look around the vicinity, there really isn't much happening. But I don't think this is going to be a deal breaker because we all know what's the main reason people are buying into AMO Residences for. It's not for convenience. As a matter of fact, Central Residences has plenty of amenities, but it has performed worse than the Panorama. So now, food for thought. Schools versus amenities. Which one is more important for capital appreciation? On to the second point I don't quite like about AMO Residences, the new benchmark prices. While yes, I said buying into the vicinity of the two popular primary schools sort of assures you of profits with a sufficiently long holding period, another way to look at it, especially if you're buying for investment, is that are there alternatives in the market? Perhaps in the CCR, where there's a fairer demand and supply dynamics that benefits buyers. Maybe topping up $50,000 to $100,000 in down payment can get you a freehold property. So what I've done is to compile a list of alternatives at the similar price points for the kind of similar unit types you're looking at AMO Residences. All you need to do is drop us a text, DM, comment down below, and we'll be happy to send that over to you. On the own stay and own use perspective, because you have to factor in selling your property and going out into a record high rental market, you need to think whether or not the expected profits that you can yield can cover up the kind of costs you're gonna incur before moving into the property. Would it then make more sense to say buy a resale property within the vicinity under one name, save on rental, and then buy another unit for investment? The risk cost, the resale property in that area is still gonna be anchored down by similar fundamentals, so you're not gonna lose too much money, and then the capital appreciation side can be covered with the investment property. Now finally, moving on to the last point of what I perhaps don't quite like about AMO Residences, the timing. Now, I'm going to break that down into 2 points. The first point is already something that I've mentioned quite a fair bit in the earlier part of the video on the timing if you have to sell your property and then go out into rental, because the rental market is at a record high at this point in time. So be very sure to do your sums properly on that. And on the second part about timing is the timing of the launch, right? Because of the significant undersupply of launches in the market at this point in time, it drives all the demand into very, very little new launches. Then putting the powers in the hand of the developer to adjust prices aggressively and multiple times during the launch. And I personally have had to speak to a lot of clients that experience buyer's remorse after entering some of the previous launches. So now that's why it's very, very important as a consumer for you to be extremely well prepared before you go into a launch, right? Do not go in just to look, see, just to try, because the whole launch experience is designed in a way to trigger that whole FOMO mentality. So now, knowing this, right, which is why we always advise our clients to just be extremely well prepared, have a very clear battle plan, have a very clear walk away point, very, very well set before you even attend launch day. Now, in summary, AMO Residences probably will assure you profits because of its strong fundamentals of being in close proximity to two of the most popular primary schools in Singapore. You're also going to benefit from being a first mover into a rapidly changing, mature town, and also benefit from the undersupply, the long-term undersupply in the OCR. That said, right, AMO Residences is not going to be the most convenient new launch around, right? But you're most likely not going to be buying into that to begin with. But if you're buying for investments, do keep a lookout for some of the potential alternatives in the market right now, right? Whereby the demand and supply dynamics may play more in your favor as opposed to that in AMO Residences, where the demand supply dynamics being high demand for new launches, for purchasing units on launch day versus the very low supply of new launches in the market at this point in time, right? So with that said, timing, right? In this particular timing, do take note that if you need to go out into the rental market, it is peak rental market at this point in time, so make sure you do your sums properly, and so that you are also not overly optimistic in terms of how much you're going to pay in terms of rental, and make sure it matches up to the kind of capital appreciation that you expect to make out of AMO Residences. We've come to the end of our property review. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, if you've enjoyed the review, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you are informed of all our future review videos. And also, if you've liked the thought process that went behind the creation of this particular review, let me share with you the similar systematic thought process that we adopt in assisting our clients with the property purchases and property planning to avoid the kind of mistakes that I've mentioned earlier on in this video. Now, this is what we do before the purchase, during the purchase, as well as after the purchase. Now, if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to reach out to us or reach out to us regardless if you have a question about AMO Residences, and we'll be happy to help. If not, till next time, bye-bye.